So Mark Carney just Mark Carney just can't stop lying. It's amazing. He just keeps telling them over and over again. Let's see. From Kirk Lubimoff here. Yesterday, Mark Carney claims that the US gets all their semiconductors from Canada. He can't have actually said that, can he? He can't have said that. What's going on here? From Pierre Polyev. Is that Carney lying here, or is that just he has no idea what he's talking about? This is the genius economist, Mark Carney. I will just play this for you and you can see for yourself.
Biggest supplier of fertilizer, biggest supplier of aluminum, biggest supplier of semiconductors. We supply almost all their semiconductors. That whole, everybody in the White House is a tech bro except for Trump. They all need semiconductors. They all come from Canada. Maybe they won't. Maybe one day they won't show up. We'll see.
Maybe they won't show up. It's actually 0.79% is Canada's contribution of semiconductors to the United States. 0.79%. Maybe that 0.79% just won't show up, huh? It's baffling. Baffling. Let's listen to it again.
Biggest supplier of fertilizer, biggest supplier of aluminum, biggest supplier of semiconductors. We supply almost all their semiconductors. That whole, everybody in the White House is a tech bro except for Trump. They all need semiconductors.
This is just bizarre. Maybe that 0.79% just won't show up, huh? I guess we got a lot of leverage against the US, huh? Maybe this won't show up. This is actually so dumb. It's weird. Like, we decided we needed a term to describe him, and we came up with smartard because he's supposed to be smart, but he's actually a tard, right? I'm not sure that goes far enough. This is actually bizarre to stand there and be filmed saying that the United States gets almost all of its semiconductors from Canada. And that, yeah, we can just turn off the tap. Maybe they just won't show up one day, huh? I'm tough. What? What is this weird globalist hobgoblin thinking? This man's supposed to be an expert. I tell you what, the word expert has taken a beating, hasn't it? Over the last, say, half a decade. It's really taken a beating. This guy's supposed to be the brainiac, the economist brainiac. This guy is supposed to be the genius, the economic genius. Super competent, buttoned down, competent, really knows what he's doing. This is so wrong. This is so insanely wrong. Like, it really does. I mean, I didn't have any confidence in him to begin with. I've been reading his book. It's total lunacy. It's all green fantasies, right? But this surprised even me because this is so wrong, so stupid, right? It's hard to believe that it's hard to believe that Trudeau could have said this. I don't know. I find it very, very weird. Is that Carney? Is it that Carney is lying here, or just that he has no idea what he's talking about? The weird thing, too, is that he just keeps telling lies, and they're weird lies, right? Let's see. Again, from Pierre Polyev, he's talking about a Brian Lilly article. Harper slams Carney for taking credit for Flaherty's work. So Jim Flaherty, the finance minister under Stephen Harper. Now, Mark Carney was the head of the Bank of Canada in 2008 to 2013 during the financial crisis. He basically did what he was told by Harper and Flaherty, but he's trying to take credit for himself. In letter to Conservative Party members, Stephen Harper says Mark Carney is taking credit for work he didn't do in the financial crisis. This is a big part of his claim to fame, right? His competence, his steady hand, right? Well, it turns out not quite as steady as he would like to make it out. He's trying to take credit that he doesn't deserve, which seems pretty normal. So here we have another lie where Brookfield Asset Manager, where he was vice chair and he headed the ESG division, Mark Carney is an eco-fanatic. He's an eco-cultist, all right? But in any case, they just moved their headquarters from Canada to New York. So he chaired the unanimous vote in which they decided to move it. He was a part of it all along. He wrote a letter encouraging the shareholders to move to New York. Let's hear what he has to say here. So, and he had claimed that he had had nothing to do with it. It was after he had left Brookfield. It was a lie, and it was a stupid lie that was easily debunked. Let's hear what he has to say.
Well, look, there's several elements to the transaction, Laura, and I should have been more precise in my answer. There's a overall...
See, that's what liars say. I should have been more precise in my answer. Yeah, by precise meaning not lying, telling the truth. The precision part is telling the truth, right? The not precise part is lying. Well, I should have been more precise and not lied. Yeah, you're right. You shouldn't have. All right, so here's another issue, too. We still don't know what his business interests are. I mean, we know he's been very involved in trying to influence governments and banks, including in Canada, into funneling money into green boondoggles, green companies, right? We don't know what his interest in any of this is. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and assume he's got lots, right? Certainly, when he loses the election, he'll be going back to Brookfield or something like that again and doing the exact same thing.
He still hasn't told us what he's going to do, and we've been trying to get this information, what you're going to do about putting your conflict of interest disclosures to the public. They have ducked that over and over again. And there's a reason for this, is that it takes 60 days to declare, once you become prime minister, 60 days to declare your conflict and 120 days to declare it to the public. If he abides by that, then the election will be over before we even know what his financial interests are. So he's been ducking us a lot. He'll take 2 questions, maybe 3, and then they run away from us.
Oh, here's another one. I've dealt with Trump in the past. Here's another lie. More tall tales from Mark Carney. Let's see. It says Trump has mentioned Trudeau, Freeland, Poilievre, but never Carney. I strongly suspect he has no idea who he is. No, I mean, look, he was the head of the Bank of England while Trump was in office for his first term, but he wouldn't have been directly dealing with Trump in any sense. So he's just lying. We've never heard of this before. It's all very convenient.
Trump, and I've dealt with Trump in the past. He respects strength. He respects strength. Like a lot of bullies, he respects strength.
Dealt with Trump in the past? What? Nobody ever heard of this before. He's just make up. He wouldn't have been in a position to deal with Trump. Maybe somebody let Carney go to lunch with them with Trump as a favor or something once. He seems to not mind. I mean, this guy, after the scandal-plagued, the constant scandal-plagued Liberal Party, years of the just scandal-ridden, constant scandal Liberal Party, this is the guy they choose, this guy who just seems incapable of telling the truth. Okay, so since Tuesday, this is from February 28th, Carney has lied about his role in Brookfield moving their headquarters to New York from Toronto, helping Martin balance the budget. That's another one we covered in the last video, in the last live stream. He didn't. He was not in government. He didn't join government Canadian government until 2004. He's lied about resigning from all his board positions. That's another one. So it turns out he hasn't resigned from all of his board positions. He just said that he had. And the ones that he hasn't resigned from yet, it's not like they're like horrible, shocking things. It's just, why lie about it? Like, why lie about something that a journalist can easily check? Right? This is all stuff that, it's just easily proven false. If somebody is this willing to just tell silly lies for political gain, I don't think this is going to go well for him going forward, honestly, because he's obviously just going to keep getting caught in lies over and over again. You have to keep in mind, he's been in the Liberal leadership race, which means that who's been paying attention to it? Liberals, people that are, Liberal insiders, right? People who are really into the Liberal Party, the
small fringe minority.
But he's not well known still amongst the Canadian public, right? Once he really gets the bright lights shone on him, it's not going to go well, in my opinion. I think you're going to see an epic collapse. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.